We are going close to downtown to deliver some essential survival items for a friend of ours that are in the streets.
By the time we get going, at night, the time we're sort of out looking for people. We did get word earlier tonight from somebody, some friends that want to be done. So we're heading in. That's really important. That's what we do because there's a lot of need. There's night as the temperatures. It's been rocking back and forth between about 28, 29 since we got on the road tonight. Dropping. Drop further.
And all these days we haven't find people that don't have any of the essential items that you need to survive. Yeah.
I haven't gotten word about Code Purple, who don't have the kind of food that they need to survive. Really working to fill gaps in our shelter system. So that's a lot of what we've been doing during the day in collaboration with a lot of folks here. And
So to talk about the meeting that you have today and what was accomplished.
spending our nights out here. So we really touch the streets, and so we kind of know we have our finger on the pulse of what's going on out here. So there's a group that's been working around Code Purple and talking about gaps, and so really working to expand our shelter system. We went earlier this year from having 0 options for Code Purple, which also happened last year as Code Purple began. We began really advocating vigorously around that, make sure that people had shelter options. Typically, shelters sort of just open for men or women and children, and so that's oftentimes really limited. And what we were sort of just sharing our wisdom from being out here. There's, when people's circumstances sort of hit in the struggle of people, with homelessness, it's not always sort of as cut and dry as that. So we were sharing about situations of folks that we're meeting that don't necessarily fit the shelter that's available. And so one of the hardest gaps that we sort of really isolated are shelter for intact families, so parents with children, and all kinds of families. We know that there's LGBTQ families, there's single dad families, and so most of the time when we think of families, that's women and children. It's been sort of what the traditional shelter system has done. And what we know is that we've seen a lot of 2-parent families out sleeping in cars and things like that. When you're traumatized by homelessness and you're already sort of facing disruption in your lives, to then be losing your support system, if you're an intact family, by having to split up in the shelter system, can be very traumatizing. And so we really were working around that. And so we're real excited to partner with Trinity United Methodist to open beginning tonight a shelter for intact families of all kinds. And couples, that was the other thing that we've seen a lot of, is couples out on the streets. Same situation, like that's your partner, that's your life in many ways, your comforter, your support, and then to sort of disrupt that. So it's really exciting to be working around shelter where we leave those really natural support systems in place. I think that's really powerful and some best practices. So that's happening right now. If you want to help with that, there's certainly volunteer needs, so you can contact us. You can message us via our Facebook page or through our email, belovedasheville@gmail.com. and say, hey, I want to volunteer, and there's a need sort of on all shifts, even beginning in the morning. So there are some overnight shifts, but there's going to be a lot of sort of hospitality work or work of welcome and care during the day, because the temperatures are so cold that people are welcome to go about their day if they need to, but they can also stay. That's some of what we do. Also, just working with folks to resource, always explain. Some people think, oh, we just give gear to people. No, that's just the start of building trust. So building that trust and relationship and beginning to figure out what's going on, how can we utilize people's natural supports and gifts, and then pair that with community support and gifts, and pair that with services to begin to move out of homelessness. And that's really powerful. So we've seen that happen a lot over our time with B-Love, where we're helping people find work, find childcare so they can go to work, access other resources of support for food and health care and mental health care and substance use disorder support and treatment and housing. So all those things are things that we're working on when we're out here. That's what we're doing. Always sort of looking to see what we might be able to do. I just was thinking as we drove past just a minute ago, finding that elder veteran on the street, right on the sidewalk. In the last really incredibly cold spell where it dropped about, I think it dropped about 20 degrees in 30 minutes during that particular cold spell. And how you went out first to offer care and you couldn't even get gloves on, had nothing but the clothes on his back.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that we find they don't have even a blanket, they don't have socks, they don't have gloves. So for us it's very important to share all the love that you share with us. Like I'm amazed by all these kids in Henderson Build and Collect. More than 200 items involved, like coats, pants.
Incredible.
So it's amazing to see the new generations be involved and caring about people in our community.
The Interact Club that did that.
Yeah,
awesome. That's what we've been giving, sharing.
Yeah, and the different people that have been supporting the survival kits too, since the first cold night and since the last year. So we are very thankful for all you, and we are only an extension of who you are. So the reason that we do these videos is because we want you to feel that you are the same part that we are, and we are able to do this work because you help us to do this work. So the goal is then we believe that together we can start dreaming about solving a lot of the problems that our community is facing, and start making this community a better place for everybody that live here.
Exactly right. So we're just scouring the streets right now. Like I'm looking off to my left and right. Years of doing this, you're able to spot people pretty quickly. The other people might not even notice, but we sort of have a pretty trained eye in seeing, and that's really important. And what we found is it's just seriously important that we go out looking for people, because people don't know what the resources are and don't have what they need, and are very isolated. And so we really put the onus on ourselves, the responsibility on ourselves to care for our fellow human beings. And I would just say that, we got a pretty horrendous call on our phone today, just sort of spewing meanness about this work and about our friends on the streets. And I was just reflecting yesterday when we found somebody that was in such bad shape, and being able to put a blanket around him and just offer, it was just a really sacred act to care for this man who was a stranger, and to see this very despondent face, and him saying, I don't feel like I'm anything. I feel like I'm nothing but now I feel worthy. I feel like I'm worth something. People care. And to see him smile, this beautiful smile.
Yeah, doing this work, we find probably hundreds and hundreds or more than love words or then push us to do it, and then really a lot of people are very thankful about the work that we are doing. Only we find a lot of how it is social media, so we find a lot of the people that are haters, and then they say then a lot of the problems is because also one of the calls that Amy is talking about, I listened to the call too, and was somebody that was blaming us for all the situation that people that live in the street is having. And I was thinking, like, how blame us when we are one of the people that try to make better the situation? Blame the other institution that make people have been in this situation. So it's sometimes it's crazy to think that somebody want to blame the people and try to make it better for people that are suffering because the system is not helping them, then blaming the system. So
yeah, and it's to look upon somebody, and we look at human suffering like we're very close up to human suffering, and it just broke my heart, especially as a mom. My kids are so precious to me, and to see these other beautiful, precious human beings and have people talk about them like that when they really don't know the suffering that people have been through and what we see. So we're really grateful to be doing this work.
Yeah, I guess it's something that we not talk very often. We receive a lot of this hate comments, this hate calls, these hate emails. Then, like I say, we only can support all this stuff because it's a lot of more love than hate. And
right.
People see us in the street and people say, oh, I really respect what you do, we really love what you do, and this is always encourage us to continue doing this work. It was more hate than love, believe me, then we was already doing other thing, only because all the love that we receive when we are out, when we see people in the stores or in the street, we are able to continue this work.
And that's because of people like you. The last time, a few nights ago, that we were out and people were coming and bringing things, it was like so incredibly beautiful to experience that. And so we feel the love from our community, and we know that this is sacred work and that people are worth it. And that's so very important. We're meeting somebody. Let's see if I can find them. Okay.
Yeah, Amy used make the call for let the people that is gonna meet us here know that we are already here, and then we have all the items. So like I was saying, thank you so much to all the people that have been supporting us in the many different ways that you have been supporting us. So now that we are here in downtown, probably we're gonna go and check in some of the streets here. We know that a lot of Asian people sleep in some of the doorways of the business in downtown, so we're gonna be checking in them and sharing some of the blankets and sleeping bags that we have in the car. This sign said that it is 23 degrees right now.
So let me show you.
Or 29.
Yeah, the windows go on the side of my kid.
Oh yeah.
And the cars over.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out how to keep the air from coming in.
You're basically going to have two tents inside, a tent inside a tent.
Yeah.
So this tent you can close off and get inside and it's going to heat up like real fast.
And so I'd like to take him, but he won't.
Yeah.
But that's not the whole story.
Yeah.
He's got cancer.
Yeah.
He's got one leg. The doctors say they don't know.
Put that inside your sleeping bag. I'm going to get these open for you because they're attached. Because if you're like me, I lose them.
There was 3 others that stay up there with us. They come, they come to help me.
Oh, wow.
They come and go. They don't stay. It's just basically me and him. But they're from here. And we're not.
I'm trying. My hands were.
We just gave up.
Yeah.
We don't want to leave them.
Here's these guys. And we got cozy inside. And then we.
I mean, it was wet where we was kind of having tarps there
Yeah.
to where it could block off the wind.
Yeah.
And they got wet.
These are gonna help a lot. There's a pair in here. I got one for him too. But it's got all kinds of other goodies, socks and hot hands and all kinds of stuff in there. And then I've got extra blanket if you want. Like I've got thick sleeping bag, and then this is like really just soft. Look at y'all.
There was fall that stayed up there. She's got, I don't understand, she's got a portable propane heater. Which is really round one about like that.
Yeah.
Put a propane suit on it. And she will not let us use it for at all. And she's not even there. And I don't understand why she didn't.
And then I've got y'all some sternos. So I already got a couple here already.
It is. I mean, we have to be like rock on it.
Yeah. So that's what this is going to help with.
Yeah. We could put it up like now.
Oh yeah, it's that easy to put up. Just runs here and run the string through the top to hold that triangle and then just bend it down on the sides. And then you climb in it and it's got a thing that you close off and like I say, it's going to heat up. Because it uses your body heat and this to just rock and roll. So that's going to use that. That's up a lot. You need help carrying stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
Awesome. Do this. This is my buddy Tom said, baby.